Move off when you're ready please, out through the gate to the left.
We should have priority through the gate, as vehicles to the right have a stop line.
At the end of this service road, turn left, then, turn immediately right onto the main road please. So, that's left, then right.
Ready to slow to a crawl, or better still, stop and look for a few seconds to the right in particular, as the view will likely be severely restricted. As we look to emerge, aiming for the lane to then turn right, but if there's a queue, don't pull out into the middle if that would mean blocking the left turn lane for others. Now, turning onto the main road, looking, both sides, but also this junction here for vehicles pulling out that we may have to wait for, as we would have to have enough time not just to pull out, but to get up to speed as well. Following buses, we should see if they are going to signal to stop at bus stops, particularly those that would block our path. Keep close to the center line to see around the bus. We can't proceed. The last passenger has gotten off the bus, and there's nobody waiting to get on, so the bus could pull off shortly anyway. As soon as the bus starts signaling right to pull away, we should look to give way to it if we haven't already committed to overtaking.
At the roundabout, turn right, third exit.
We can already see to the right we'll probably have a gap to go as it's currently clear, but keep checking. Stay off the hatch markings, unless absolutely necessary. It's just one lane only. Despite the arrows, keep to the left-hand lane. The right-hand arrow isn't meant for us, it will just lead you round the roundabout again. Careful not to straddle, or switch lanes over these road markings. If we got stuck on the inside lane, we'd just have to go round again. We're just far enough along that we're not blocking the roundabout exit to our left. This will be another thing to plan ahead for if there's traffic like this. As well as looking ahead, look out for traffic signs entering the new road. Looking ahead for anything that could slow us down, like if the traffic lights may be about to change for pedestrians waiting at the crossing, for speed limit changes, and queues of traffic.
At the main set of traffic lights, we'll be following the road ahead.
We don't usually need to be told to follow the road ahead at traffic lights, unless it's something unusual coming up, so let's look for any road signs and markings to work it out. When changing lanes, make sure it is clear to do so. If in doubt, stay put, but signal your intention to move with the indicator. Our lane splits into one going ahead, and one turning right. It would make sense for the one turning right to be on the right, so we'll stay away from that. If we found ourselves in the wrong lane, and it were too late or busy to move, best to just go the way the arrow says, rather than grind to a halt, holding up other traffic to move into a busy lane. Scan the parked cars for any sticking further out than others, and leave extra room if safe to do so.
At the roundabout, turn left.
With the layout of the roundabout, the first exit is kind of between left and ahead, so we'll give a brief signal to help out the oncoming car in a couple of seconds. Check both exits to the right to see if we can go.
At the next roundabout, follow the road ahead. You'll need the right-hand lane to do so on this occasion.
The roundabout layout is like this, as there are only two exits, one to the left, and one ahead, none to the right, so there may as well be one lane for each, but that would be hard for a learner to perceive unless they were very familiar with the area, because there are no arrows, hence we are given the information to use the right-hand lane on approach.
Take the next road on the left, please.
We can already see parked cars, so we should be more ready than usual to stop, as it's more likely there could be oncoming traffic on our side of the road as we turn in. We see a blue Mini in the distance that is waiting to get through, so, even though we don't need to give way yet, we decide to let them go first as they may have been waiting a while and could possibly become impatient. It should be easy to plan for meeting traffic as we can see miles down the road. Still look for places to wait though, as someone could suddenly pull out of a junction or parking space without looking properly.
Pull up on the left, in a safe place.
Avoid the bus stop, of course.
Thanks, we're now going to drive for some time independently. So I'd like you to follow a series of directions given by the sat-nav, please. Drive on when you're ready.
Car coming in the distance will show them early we're going to keep out of their way.
After 200 yards, turn right.
We'll maneuver around the debris on the floor since it's safe to do so.
Turn right.
At the crossroads, we need to worry about what's coming from the road opposite, as well as either side. We can see far enough to the right to pull out, but not far enough to see if it's clear to go beyond the parked cars, so aim for the van until we see it's clear. Now we can see that we can go to the middle. Ready to pull into gaps on the left, as we should be expecting to encounter oncoming traffic, especially round bends. Now it's easier to plan since we can see much further ahead.
At the end of the road, turn left. Turn left.
building up the speed quicker than usual, since we're pulling out onto a main road. Position in the left-hand lane for normal driving. May as well hold back to keep out of the blind spot of the white car in the right-hand lane in case it decides to change lanes. Traffic is slow in the overtaking lane, so we can go past if safe to do so. Now we'll keep ourselves out of the blind spot of the white car as it's up to speed. The white van next to us should easily be able to see where we are, but now easing off the gas early for the traffic lights. If you couldn't already see what's going on ahead, we have the road narrows on the left sign, so we're merging with the other lane. Our position is already sorted as we've stayed back from the van, and the car behind isn't driving alongside us, so we're in a staggered formation, i.e., not driving alongside each other, ready for the merge point. We're in line with the right-hand lane, although we should make the effort to take up the left lane for following the road ahead unless markings say otherwise. We could have perhaps stopped given the distance to the lights as they changed, so maybe a minor fault, if any, but not serious, as we passed the stop line before the red.
After 400 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
We'll have to slow down a little for the vans to clear out of the way.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
Glancing toward the roundabout, there's no one waiting on the right, and those opposite are not indicating, which suggests they won't go round in front of us. The closer we get, their position and speed backs up this assumption. Speed bumps, but they are not too bad. We can do around 20 over them.
Pull up on the left, in a safe place. Drive on when you're ready.
After 200 yards, keep left.
Scan the floor to see if there are different types of speed bumps to the ones we've just been over. This one is violent, so get down to a slow jogging pace.
Keep left.
And this one, they are there to get us to slow down to look properly before merging onto the dual carriageway, as the slip road is very short. As you'll hear from the sound of the engine, once we see a gap, we'll want to build up speed quickly onto the dual carriageway. Since we started from such a low speed, we want to get near the speed limit of 50 as soon as it's safe to do so.
After 300 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
The lights ahead are red, so easing off the gas already.
Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Watch the curb on the left, it's a tight turn to keep in the left lane ready for the second exit, don't stray into the middle lane.
After 400 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the second exit. Go right on the roundabout and take the second exit.
Paying attention to the road markings, we see that both lanes turn right. We'd have rather been in the left one ideally, but we can still do it safely if we're aware of our positioning. This red car on our left is going to come round with us from its lane. At this point, if we checked middle and left mirrors and saw there was nothing on our left, we could drift lanes mid-roundabout to the same lane as the red car. If we did this without checking the appropriate mirrors though, then it should be marked as a serious fault for lane discipline, as we wouldn't have shown we were aware of whether it was safe to change lanes. Most learners at this point would probably go to the left lane without checking, and without even probably realizing they'd drifted into a different lane. We end up choosing the safest option, to stick to the right-hand lane through the roundabout, and on exit. Then we see an obstruction ahead in the right-hand lane, so we'll now be forced to move to the left lane, only when it's safe though still. It looks like there's been a collision somewhere between the lorry and the car in front of the police, which has its wheel arch ripped apart.
After 300 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit.
Coming up to the roundabout, we see it's clear. A car does then appear, but it's too far away for us to worry about. So looking at where we're going, steer briskly enough to keep to the left lane through the roundabout. Don't straight line it.
After 200 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
From the sign, we see the third exit is slightly to the right, rather than straight ahead, so we should require the right-hand lane on approach, if there's two lanes.
Go right on the roundabout and take the third exit.
We have enough momentum to go, before the car on the right that appears gets close enough to us.
When it's safe, could you show me how to clean the front windscreen using the washer and wipers, please? Thanks.
At the end of the road, turn left. Turn left.
Stationary traffic ahead, so we won't accelerate too much yet. Now they are getting going.
After 200 yards, you have arrived at your destination.
If it says we've arrived again, just keep on driving ahead, please.
You have arrived.
That's the end of the independent driving section. I'll give you directions from now on, as normal.
Looks like a queue is gathering ahead. Stuck in traffic, so we'll speed up some of the footage. Yellow box junction ahead, and a queue of traffic, so we need to judge whether we can clear the whole yellow box before entering since our exit is not clear, and on this occasion we cannot do so. The yellow box allows oncoming vehicles to turn across us into the junction on our left without getting blocked. Since we will shortly have space to move beyond the yellow box, we want to show this car that we would now like to take our priority, so we creep forward whilst still being ready to stop in case they don't give way to us. They see the body language of our car though, and wait for us, as they should, since we've shown our intent to proceed. More yellow box junctions, but the traffic ahead of us is flowing, so we'll continue.
At the next traffic lights, approach in the right-hand lane please, it'll help with our directions later.
We can enter the hatch markings since we have good reason, and more importantly, it's safe to do so. As well as yellow box junctions, we may have to keep pedestrian crossings clear. It's more likely we'll have to do this in slow, heavy traffic, so let's leave a gap to the van in front for this reason as well as safety. It's good then that we didn't follow too closely, since the lights have changed.
Now, as the lane splits again, we're going to keep to the right-hand lane to follow the road ahead please, same as the van in front.
Let's do the same here. There are people on the left that probably pressed the button, so the lights could change. As the van starts moving, there looks like there'll be enough room to move beyond the crossing. At the next lights, the junction is big, judge if we can get through without blocking by seeing how the van is moving. We can clear.
At the next traffic lights, turn right please.
Right turn only lane, and it's separated from others by an island, so a signal isn't strictly necessary, but there's no harm in signaling, so best to do so if not sure. We need to remain disciplined with our speed down the hill, keeping below 30, until the new speed limit signs.
At the roundabout, turn left, first exit please.
Keeping a gap to the van ahead, we need to slow to give way to a white van and black car entering from the right. After that, the others are all positioning to exit.
Take the next road on the left, then turn immediately right. Back to the test center please. The turns are really close together. Head through the gate into the car park, where we'll do our maneuver. So I'd like you to reverse into any empty bay please, either on the left or the right, and finish within the marked bay of your choice.
At this point, check the opposite shoulder for vehicles, pedestrians, cyclists, e-scooters, and stop before any get to within a few yards of us.
Thanks, turn off the engine. That's the end of the test, and I'm pleased to say you've passed.